Welcome to the QuickBooks Chapter 5 lecture video. In Chapter 5, we will work with inventory. Inventory is ready-made merchandise that is sold to customers for a profit. QuickBooks allows you to track inventory transactions. A file must be established for each inventory item before you can enter inventory transactions. Inventory item files are included in the item list. Once the inventory item file is established, transactions such as enter bills, write checks, create invoices, enter sales receipts, and adjust quantity/value on hand can be completed in much the same manner as in prior chapters. Every time the company receives merchandise for resale, sells items, or adjusts inventory because of damage, QuickBooks records that information in the item list, which allows you to accurately determine inventory, quantity, value, and profit on sales. In addition, QuickBooks automatically updates balance sheet and income statement accounts based on that information. In manual accounting, we learn that purchases on account or credit are recorded in the purchases journal, and sales on account are recorded in the sales journal. Cash transactions are recorded in the cash receipts or cash payments journals. In QuickBooks, the item list serves as an inventory subsidiary ledger for the company. The list includes all items the company sells, relevant information for each inventory item, such as name, number, type, description, cost, sales price, etc., is entered at the same time the file is created and is updated as necessary. When the company purchases inventory items from a vendor on credit, the transaction is recorded in the Enter Bills activity window. When the inventory items are sold on credit, the invoice will be recorded in the Create Invoices activity window. QuickBooks updates the chart of accounts list and the vendor and customer files at the same time these transactions are entered. It also updates the item list to reflect the purchase and sale of inventory items. Cash purchases of inventory items are recorded in the Write Checks activity window, while cash sales of inventory are recorded in the Enter Sales Receipts activity window. Changes in inventory not due to a sale or purchase are recorded in the Adjust Quantity/Value on Hand window. The item list is updated to reflect the new inventory quantity each time inventory items are sold, purchased, or adjusted. There are two types of inventory systems, periodic and perpetual. Under periodic inventory systems, separate records are not maintained for inventory items, and no attempt is made to adjust the inventory account for purchases and sales. Inventory is counted periodically to determine inventory quantity, value, cost of goods sold, and gross profit. This method was historically used for sales of high-volume, low-cost goods where keeping records was not practical. Under the perpetual inventory system, accounting records are maintained that continuously show the current inventory quantity and value. When inventory is purchased, the inventory account increases. When inventory is sold, the inventory account decreases. The cost of goods sold account is simultaneously updated to arrive at gross profit. Most companies are able to use this system now. QuickBooks uses the perpetual system because it allows the user to know the current inventory quantity and value at any given moment and calculates the cost of goods sold and gross profit after each sale without the need for a periodic physical inventory count. On page 5-3 of your textbook, we begin the chapter problem. Create a Chapter 5 QuickBooks Practice folder. Save the Chapter 5 Kristen Reyna file to the folder. Open the company file in QuickBooks. Make a backup copy of the company file. Restore the backup copy of the company file. Change the company name. Refer back to Chapter 3 for steps on how to do this. The item list contains a file for each item or service sold by the company. If the item sold is an inventory product instead of a service, it is considered an inventory part by QuickBooks. Each inventory item should be entered in the item list before recording transactions. The item list contains important information on how each product, such as type of item, number, descriptions, cost, general ledger posting accounts, preferred vendor, and sales tax status. To review the item list, click Lists on the main menu bar and click Item List in the drop-down menu. The item list appears. To view a specific inventory item file, place the mouse over the item name and double-click. The inventory item will appear in Edit Item mode. See page 5-5 of your textbook for an explanation and description of the fields in this window. The inventory item list is revised periodically when new inventory items are added, unused items are deleted, or modifications are made to inventory items. These adjustments to the inventory item files are referred to as updating the item list. To add an item, click Lists on the main menu bar and click Item List in the drop-down menu. At the Item List window, click the Item Menu button. In the submenu, click New. The new item window appears. Using your textbook, enter the information as directed and as shown on this screenshot to enter the lamp's inventory file. When your window matches the one on page 5-7, click OK and close the item list window. To delete an item from the item list, select the item. Do not double-click it to open it. Click the Item Menu button. At the Item menu, click Delete Item. At the warning screen dialog box, click OK. The item file will be deleted. Close the item list window. To edit an item file, click Lists on the main menu bar and click Item List in the drop-down menu. Double-click the item file, Draperies. This will open the file in edit mode. Update the information in the cost and sale price fields as shown on page 5-8 in your textbook. When your window matches the one on page 5-8, click OK and close the item list window. Complete the practice exercises on page 5-9 of your textbook. Many of the procedures reviewed in this chapter, such as adding or editing an inventory item or recording a sale of inventory, can be accomplished through the Inventory Center. The Inventory Center can be found by clicking Vendors on the main menu bar and clicking Inventory Activities. The Inventory Center is similar to the Vendor Center and Customer Center. It contains a file for each inventory item. Each file contains important information such as the item name, description, cost, sales price, quantity on hand, etc. It duplicates the information contained in the item list. Purchases of inventory items on account are recorded in the Enter Bills window. Purchases of inventory items for cash are recorded in the Write Checks window. It is important to learn the difference between the two. You must analyze the transaction to determine if it is a purchase on credit or cash to know where to enter it. In Chapter 2, we'll use the Enter Bills window when goods and services were purchased on account from a vendor. There are two sub-tabs on the main tab of the Enter Bills window, Expenses and Items. The Expenses tab is used when you enter bills from vendors. When you wish to use the Inventory feature, the vendor's pull-down menu offers an additional choice of Receive Items and Enter Bill. When you use this feature, the Items tab is the active tab. The Items tab contains the following fields: item and quantity. See page 5-11 for an explanation and description of these fields. You will also find buttons that can be used when purchase orders are used in the purchase of inventory. The Enter Bills window Items tab is used for purchases of inventory items on credit. To record a purchase and receipt of inventory items on account, click Vendors on the main menu bar and click Receive Items and Enter Bills. Enter the vendor, date, and reference number. Click the Items tab and complete the item field. At the Quantity field, key 10 and tab. When your window looks like the one on page 5-12, click Save and Close. The Write Checks window also has an Expenses tab and an Items tab. For purchase of inventory items for cash, you switch to the Items tab. To record a purchase and receipt of inventory items for cash, click Banking on the main menu bar and click Write Checks in the drop-down menu. Make sure the bank account 1010 cash operating is displayed and number is 9. Pay online and print later boxes should not be checked. Fill in date. Pay to should be Lumiere lighting. Click the Items tab. In the item box, choose lamps. Key 16 at Quantity field and tab. When your window matches the one on page 5-14, click Save and Close. Complete the practice exercise on page 5-14. Your window should look like this for the March 6th practice exercise. The Enter Bills window is used for purchase on credit. Your window should look like this for the March 13th item. Purchases for cash are entered in the Write Checks window. Sales tax is usually required on product sales to customers. Some services are taxed and some are not. The sales tax amount is included in the price of the invoice. The retailer collects the tax and later remits it to the appropriate state sales tax agency. Inventory items sales on credit are recorded in the Create Invoices window, and inventory items sales for cash are recorded in the Enter Sales Receipts window. When recording the sale of inventory items in the Create Invoices window, you use a template to access the additional fields needed for inventory items. For the sale of inventory items on credit, you use the Intuit Product Invoice template. This template is designed for sales of inventory items on account. To record a sale of inventory on account, click Customers on the main menu bar and click Create Invoices. Fill in the Customer Job box, choose Intuit Product Invoice at Template Type, enter the information listed for the date and invoice number fields. Key in the Quantity field, fill in the item code. Make sure the word tax appears in the tax field. Move to the second line of the Quantity field and key 3. Fill in the carpets line. Move to the third line and key 1 in Quantity. Fill in the item code for mirrors. Move to the fourth line and key 8 in Quantity and complete the line for decorating services. Make sure Minnesota sales tax shows at tax box. The print later and email later boxes should not be checked. The online pay box should say off. Customer tax code should have tax. When your window matches the one on page 5-17, click Save and Close. The Enter Sales Receipts window is designed for cash received for both the sale of services and the sale of inventory items for cash. To record a sale of inventory for cash, click Customer on the main menu bar and click Enter Sales Receipts in the drop-down menu. Fill in the customer job box, the date, the sale number, the payment method and number fields. The print later and email later boxes should not be checked. Tax should show customer tax code box. Complete the balance of the window as shown on page 5-19 and click Save and Close. Complete the practice exercises on page 5-20. This is the March 27 item. Your window should look like this. It is entered in the Create Invoices window. This is the March 29th item. Your window should look like this. It is entered in the Enter Sales Receipts window. Sales discounts are offered to customers to encourage early payment of outstanding invoices. Companies offer a 1 or 2% reduction of the invoice amount if the payment is made within 10 days of the invoice date. For instance, 210 net 30 means that if the customer pays the invoice within 10 days of the invoice date, they get a 2% discount off the invoice price. If they choose not to take the option, they pay the full invoice amount within 30 days. To record a receipt of payment within the discount period, click Customers on the main menu bar and click Receive Payments. At the Received From box, choose Guthrie, Jenny. Choose 32314 at the Date field. Enter the payment method and check number. Select the invoice by clicking in the check mark column next to the Open Invoice. The Automatically Calculate Payments window warning appears. Place a check mark in the box to the left of Do Not Display this message in the future and click Yes. Click the Discounts and Credits button. At the Discount and Credits window, click 4100 Sales Discounts in the Discount Account box. Click Done to accept the discount calculation. You will be returned to the Receive Payments window with the amount due recalculated based on the discount and the net due placed in the amount field. At the checkmark field, place a check mark next to the selected invoice. If your window matches the one on page 5-23, click Save and Close. Complete the practice exercise on page 5-23. Your window should look like this one. The Adjust Quantity Value on Hand window is used to record changes in the inventory from events other than a purchase or sale. If inventory items are lost, stolen, damaged, or spoiled, the change would be recorded in this window as an inventory adjustment. The reduction is a loss. To record an inventory adjustment, click Vendors on the main menu bar, point to Inventory Activities, and click Adjust Quantity Value on Hand. Fill in the adjustment type box, the date, the reference number field, and the adjustment account box. If the income or expense expected window appears, place a check mark in the box to the left of Do Not Display this message in the future and click OK. Choose Mirrors at the Item box and tab. Key 6 in the New Quantity field and tab. When your window matches the one on page 5-25, click Save and Close. The Pay Sales Tax window is used to record the remittance of sales tax charged to customers to the proper tax agency. To pay the sales tax collected, click Vendors on the main menu bar, Point to Sales Tax and click Pay Sales Tax in the submenu. The Pay Sales Tax window appears. Fill in the check date field of 3/1/2014. The book has a misprint. Make sure 1010 Cash Operating is selected in the Pay From Account field and the To Be Printed box is not checked. The Show Sales Tax Due Through box should have 3/31/14. Click the Pay All Tax button. At the Pay field, place a check mark. When your window matches the one on page 5-27, click OK. Just as we recorded deposits at the end of the month in Chapter 3, the deposits need to be recorded here as well. Complete the practice exercise on page 5-27. Click Banking on the main menu bar and click Make Deposits. The Payments to Deposit window appears. Click the checkmark button to select all the deposits. Your total should match. Click OK. When your window matches, click Save and Close. Inventory reports help the company track and manage inventory. To print the Inventory Valuation by Detail report, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Inventory, and click Inventory Valuation Detail in the submenu. Enter the dates and click the Refresh button. Your report should match the one on page 5-28. To print, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the file Inventory Valuation Detail Report, and click Save. To print the Stock Status by Item report, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Inventory, and click Inventory Stock Status by Item. Change the dates and click the Refresh button. Your report should match the one on page 5-29. To print, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the file Inventory Stock Status by Item report, and click Save. To print the Purchases by Item Detail report, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Purchases, and click Purchases by Item Detail. Change the dates and click the Refresh button. Your report should match the one on page 5-29. To print, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the file Purchases by Item Detail report, and click Save. This report allows you to drill down to view the source transaction. To view the detail of the carpets purchase on March 6, 2014, place the mouse pointer over the carpet purchase transaction until the zoom glass appears. Double-click the transaction. The Enter Bills window for this transaction is displayed. Close the Enter Bills window and the report. To print the Sales by Item Detail report, click Lists on the main menu bar and click Item List. To print the Sales by Item Detail report, click the Reports menu button arrow, point to Reports on All Items, scroll over to Sales Reports, scroll over to By Item Detail and click. Change the dates and click the Refresh button. Your report should match the one on page 5-30. To print, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the report Sales by Item Detail report, and click Save. To view and print the Inventory Stock Status by Vendor report, click the Reports List arrow in the Item List box. Point to Reports on All Items, scroll to Inventory, scroll to Inventory Stock Status by Vendor, and click. Change the dates and click Refresh. To print, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the file Inventory Stock Status by Vendor Report, and click Save. To view and print the Item Profitability Report, click the Reports List arrow in the Item List box, point to Reports on All Items, scroll to Project, and scroll to Item Profitability and click. Change the dates and click the Refresh button. To print the report, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the report Item Profitability Report, and click Save. To print the journal, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Accountant and Taxes, and click Journal in the submenu. Change the dates and click the Refresh button. Your report should match the one on pages 531 and 532. To print the report, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder. Name the file Journal and click Save. To view and print the Profit and Loss Standard Report, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Company and Financial, and click Profit and Loss Standard in the submenu. Change the dates and click the Refresh button. Your report should match the one on page 5-33. To print the report, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the file Profit and Loss Standard Report, and click Save. To view and print the Balance Sheet Standard Report, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Company and Financial, and click Balance Sheet Standard in the submenu. Change the dates and click the Refresh button. Your report should match the one shown on page 5-34. To print the report, click File, Save as PDF. Navigate to the Chapter 5 Reports folder, name the file Balance Sheet Standard Report, and click Save. Submit the Practice Reports folder.